Get on here. Oh, there we go. Good. I just
Is it
got
working?
hungry.
I'm hungry too, all of a sudden.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, what's going on? Lexi's here.
Luis.
Julius is here. Yay, Julius. Thank you for being here. Lexi, thank you. It's
Thank you
so
for the
nice.
likes. So nice.
Yes. Sorry that we're a little late. So we've been up at the Shakespeare Festival all day long and just rushed right in. Oh, thank you for that, Julius. That is so sweet. Oh, who's that? That's Lexi saying hello. Holly's here. Holly, thank you for being here. Thank you. Sorry that we're late.
Hi, Michelle.
Michelle's here. All right, Michelle, thank you. We've been up at the Shakespeare Festival today. As Alyssa, and that was so much fun. We went there with my cousins,
Hi,
and we got to see a really fun play. So we saw two plays on Saturday, which they're 3 hour plays of Shakespeare. So it's takes a second to get really dialed into that dialect and whatever. But it was really really fun.
Fun.
Today we saw a play that was not a Shakespeare play
Mm-hmm.
called Trouble in the Mind, and this play is about a play exposing just the bias and the prejudice of a lot of different people. And it was actually a pretty interesting play, Trouble in the Mind, and it was actually kind of a nice break from listening to the Shakespeare dialect. Although I do kind of enjoy some of those phrases and how Shakespeare was able to fit so much information into just one sentence. And I think that's really what makes him different is the ability to articulate and put so much information in just a few words. So I did enjoy that. Do you ever do makeup tutorials? Yes. In fact, we probably should do that. Maybe Thursday. Maybe Thursday we'll start out as Kevin and just we'll transition on Thursday. How about that? We haven't done that for a hot minute. So yes, we will. Today I actually used the primer, which I haven't been using the last couple of lives, but since I was going to be out and about all day, Holly, thank you. So I did use primer today, and it does seem to give me a little more youthful, kind of a dewy look. So yes, how about I do that on Thursday? That's a great thing. I'm trans, male, female. I was wondering if you knew any ways of getting HRT in Wyoming that are cheap. Um, no, I don't know. Hormones are pretty expensive either way. But if you're having a hard time with your own doctor, there are some online pharmacies that you can use that are outside of the country. One of those is one that I used for probably 5 years, and that's called Kiwi Drug. So KIWI Drug. I think it's out of New Zealand. They've got labs in I think India, but they have an online doctor. So you just tell them. I just told them, hey, I'm doing HRT, and these are the doses that I would like. And they reviewed, I guess, my medical chart or whatever. And then I was able to start ordering that as much as and as often as I wanted to. But you are paying out of pocket. The pills are actually quite cheap if you're going to take your medicine in a pill form. It's actually quite a bit cheaper to do it that way. But the patch form is really more effective. It's better. It doesn't have to go through your organs, your kidneys to get into your system. So a patch is better, but a patch is like 10 or 12 times more expensive. So, do the patch if you can, but if you can't, then the pills you'll be able to access there too for much, much cheaper.
Do they cause mood swings?
Will they give my wife testosterone that I can take? Will they give my wife testosterone? I don't even know what that means. So majestic and stunning. Oh, thank you. Thank you for saying that. 1306. So, did I what? I'm sorry.
Did you get any mood swings when you started?
No, I didn't get any mood swings. I became very stable very quick. I would say within 72 hours, I was able to really be different and feel different. So I didn't have the swings. Now, if I get too much estrogen in me, then yes, I could be quite moody and sensitive. I just seem to feel things at a much much deeper level when I have a lot of estrogen in me, and little things become very very important things. So when I get to that point, I call those little. I don't get them very often, but if my body is metabolizing it uh, in a different way, then I go through. I call my period because because it does make me very, very emotional, but that's not the state that I'm in very often. So no, it didn't give me mood swings. It made me very, very stable, actually. Tommy, thank you for those roses.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Let's be nice if you can, guys. It's not important to me that you agree with me. It's important to me that you're respectful and whatever it is that. Thank you, Tommy. Is that Megan?
Nice to see you.
Meg, is that saying Meg?
Yes.
Meg, thank you for those roses. That's so
you.
fun. It is important to me that you're respectful. It's important to me that whatever issues you do have, why don't you come live with me? Come live with me. Let's put a face to your concerns, to your fears, to your questions. Thank you guys for those. Wow, thank you for those roses. And let's have some conversation. This is about dialogue. We also get a lot of people saying, gosh, well, Andrea's always behind you. And that's because the way that this desk is set up, there's a cutout for my legs. This is where I sit and do my makeup. My makeup's all over here. I got drawers under here, and she has to kind of straddle that to scooch up in here next to me. Otherwise, it would look like we were on the back side of the room. So I do. Andrea's not less important at all. She's probably more important for sure, but just the seating arrangement. So I'm trying to scoot back so we're more level, and you can feel like she participates a lot more.
Yes, thank you.
People are being absolutely mean. Well, listen, let's do this. Since there's some meanies on here, let's put a voice to the meanness. So come live with me. Let me invite you to come live with me. And this is what I would like to discuss. I would like for you to explain to me or help me understand the danger to society if we normalize transgender. So if we normalize transgender outside of your religious belief, we won't be talking about your God, your religious belief, because your religious belief cannot dictate everybody else's life. Outside of your religious belief, let's talk about the dangers to society by normalizing transgender. So please, all you people that are leaving these weird comments, it's really easy to say strong things when you're untouchable, when you're behind a shadow, when no one knows where it's coming from. But come live with me right now. Let's put a face to your comments, and let's talk it through and see if we can come to at least understand each other a little bit better. And then I have some questions as well.
Thank you, everyone.
Dangerous part is I always stay true. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Dolly, thank you. Sarah, thank you so much. Behind a keyboard, that's right. Behind a keyboard. It's so easy to be brave behind a keyboard, but when you have to explain and justify that thinking, then you start to think a whole lot different when you're challenged about it. So I'm okay with you disagreeing, but just tell me what you disagree with and tell me why. Help me explain why. In fact, I'll open up that dialogue for us right now because I brought this up before. I'm going to change slides so you can see it. I want to talk about a slide. It's David Chappelle and a comment that he made, and let's talk about that because I would like to understand that a little bit differently from your perspective. So let me change this slide really quick.
Thank you, Britt. I'm doing really good. Thanks for asking.
Let's change this slide to...
Hi, Kimber. Thank you.
Let's change it to this slide first. Let's talk about this one. No, you stay right there, baby. You stay right there.
I'm just trying to not look at these comments.
Okay, so look at this slide right here. And I hear this a lot. You know, they're against transgender people because we're trying to cram it down everybody's throat. Hold on, someone's going live. This is what we asked for. So let me take this. And remember, Riker, I'm going to bring Riker on. Riker, be respectful. Be respectful or I'm going to have to shut you down. I want you to be here, but I want it to be a great, respectful conversation.
We are spouses. Thank you for asking.
Is it Riker? Am I saying that right? Suddenly I can't hear. Hang on one second. Maybe if I unplug this. Hang on.
Maybe I can.
Riker, are you there? I think your phone's on mute.
I can hear it now.
Well, I can hear noise, but we don't hear a person. There you go. I can hear you now. Yeah, is it Riker? Am I saying that correctly? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
How are you?
Hi, New York.
I'm okay. How are you doing tonight?
We're doing amazing. We're doing amazing. Thank you for calling in.
Awesome. Hey, you and I spoke probably about a month ago. Have you thought any more of the possibility of being a non-separated twin?
A non-separated twin. No.
No.
No, I haven't. Should I consider that? What would be the benefit of considering that?
Trying to figure out how biologically people are being transgender, not feeling comfortable in their own body.
Mm-hmm. Like the reason behind it?
Yeah, there's scientific reasons behind it.
Yeah. That's a good question, and I do have my own suspicions, and perhaps I'll share those with you because I have built some slides and things that explain it in a way that feels right. Whether or not it's mechanically the right way, I don't know. I do have kind of my own definition or explanation for that. But whether it's the hormones or the chemtrails or the
Somebody told me I
vaccinations and all that
broke you.
stuff, then broke me.
It's
You
my
fix me.
fault.
You fix
Mhm.
me, baby. You keep me going. So no, I haven't. But I'll tell you what, Record, that was a really, really important question for me for a long time. And I really wanted to get a karyotype test so I could say, hey, look, guys, genetically I'm different. Like for a long time I needed proof because no one would believe it. And I felt like people would take it more serious if I had proof. Well, now there's so many people, so many men, thank you, Anisha, so many men that have an XX chromosome combination and so many women that have an XY chromosome combination. And there's so many combinations in between that it's not that important to me anymore that I have proof, because even with the proof, even with all the science that's out there now, I still can't get people to just be reasonable and consider the possibility of it, which is interesting because none of us have a hard time accepting that one person out of 2,000 is born intersexed, right? Which means they have all or a portion of both male and female anatomy. So if the body's able to create it, doesn't it make sense that the body would be able to maintain it and control it? Go ahead, sir.
Like I said, I've been trying to figure this out so that we can understand it.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
for me to accept is to understand what's going on.
Mm-hmm. No, I get that. And I think probably a lot of people feel the exact same way, and I appreciate you saying that.
We're locking up. Let me shut off my camera.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that, but here's the reality. Whether it's because of trauma that people experience, like a movie I recently saw, whether it's chemicals, whether it's an imbalance, or regardless of what it is, what we do know is this. We know that the number of people claiming to be transgender or identifying as transgender is going up, and it's going up very quick. We know that those people are committing suicide at a very, very high rate. So even before we get to the why, we really have to focus on the who, because the who is right in front of us. The who needs to use the bathroom now. The who is the one that's suffering. So I do believe we're getting very, very close to scientifically explaining it, and then we'll be able to better treat it. But until that point, we all have family or friends or coworkers or whatever that still have to live in existence that's not readily understood. And that's really more of what this dialect is about. But I'm glad you brought that up because I will share with you maybe on Thursday kind of what I think is going on just based on how it feels on a cellular level in my body. So thank you for bringing that up. That's awesome.
That would be appreciated. Miss Alyssa, you have a wonderful evening.
You as well. Thank you. Thank you for calling back in. I really appreciate you being here.
All right. Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you so much.
You as well.
too.
Bye-bye. Okay, so this slide behind me, do you see this? So it has a picture with a girl in a big tuba, and she's got the tuba horn right over the guy's face, and it says, "Me trying to live my life," right, is the guy against the wall, and the girl with the tuba says it's the LGBTQ agenda, just being blown, or propaganda being blown right in the face. So what I really like is for someone to help me understand this and how much it takes before you feel like that. So help me understand what that looks like, that it's so in your face and so loud and so abusive or obnoxious that it's hard to even try to understand or deal with anymore. Help me understand that so we can present this in a different way that's not so offensive and so loud.
There's some mean She's out today.
Well, they should come live. I mean, I've
Some
opened
of them
up.
don't have 1,000 followers, so they can't come on with you.
They don't have
right?
they don't have
have to. You explain to them then how
Yeah.
they can.
No,
join.
I don't think they can unless they have 1,000 followers. But they should have 1,000 followers.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
So click on multi-guest and send request.
Yes, so guys, please come and join us. Here's another one that I really, really want to talk about, and this is David Chappelle's comment. So look at this one. Okay, so this is what Dave Chappelle said, and he took a lot of heat for this. He's still taking heat for this. He said, I support anyone's right to be who they want to be. My question is, to what extent do I have to participate in your self-image? Okay, this is his quote, and he took a lot of heat for that, for being insensitive and whatever else. The truth is, I think this is a very valid question. I think this is what's keeping so many people from even listening or trying to understand it, because they don't understand what participation looks like. So what I would love to hear from some of you, especially the haters, is what do you feel like your participation is that's not acceptable to you? That's what I would like to know. I would like to know where that breakdown is and what you're being asked to do or participate in that you simply, can't do. So anyone who wants to call in and talk about this quote, because I think it's a very valid question. And if we can answer this question, then people are going to feel much more comfortable coming to the table and having this type of a dialogue. Word of God, yeah. So Derek, we won't
participate in your self-image. Then why are you here?
No, but you participate in everybody's self-image. When someone says, "Hey, call me Brian," you call them Brian. That is their self-image. That is who they are. They're representing the male gender, and that is their self-image. So, and I'm only asking the same thing. I give you a name, you refer to me by that name, and that's it. So I don't understand where this excess of participation is coming from. Oh, thank you. Oh gosh, I wish I almost saw it. It went away. Kindness and love to all. Yeah, isn't that true? Can I be a mod? Sure. Sam, thank you. Thank you for those roses, Sam.
Mm-hmm.
So guys, please join me. Listen, you don't have to join me if you agree. I would like you to join me and just say, hey, listen, Allyssa, this is the issue that I have. This is what I can't agree with. This is why I won't move forward in accepting this group of suffering people. Please join in. Let's have some dialogue about what is holding you back from just being a good neighbor or a good coworker or a good sibling or whatever it is that's holding you back from using somebody's correct name. So please, call in. Wow, thank you for that. Does that say Canaan? Thank you, Canaan, for that. Chappelle is the goal. He's so funny. But this question, I believe, is so valid, and we need to answer it as quickly as we can. Because in my mind, you don't need to do anything different from me other than just address me correctly, right? I go by Allyssa. So call me Allyssa. I will call you whatever it is that you say. I'm not challenged by the name that you give me. Remember, transgender is only about your social gender identity. Trans means to cross over, right? Like transatlantic, you're crossing the Atlantic. This is transgender, so you're crossing gender. It's not about a tractor, it's not about a cat, it's not about any of those things. It's simply about gender and how we communicate with one another. What's your thoughts on a young person transitioning? Tommy, thank you. My thought is that you knew exactly who you were your whole life, and these people know exactly who they are. And some people will need to transition younger, and some people will need to transition later. And I think that we should trust them in their own self-identity. We have no reason not to trust them with understanding what they're capable of and what switches are turned on for them to live their best life. So I do believe that as soon as you understand who you are, that you pursue that. And if it doesn't feel right, then you stop. But I don't think that we can ever govern anybody else's pursuit of their own value and their own competence and abilities to survive in this world. I have a question. When did you feel like you were different? What age? Carolina. Did I say Caroline? Carolina? Mm-hmm. That's a really good question. So I don't have any memories where this thinking didn't influence my thinking. So I knew from this big that girl things were very, very important to me and very valuable. And I feel like I understood those things on a cellular level. That doesn't mean that I had access to it. I'm 50 years old right now, and I just barely came out publicly, and I'm starting to figure out what Alyssa's like and what that life is like for me, and that drive my whole life, what it would take to make me whole. So that's kind of what this is about. And you're going through these aha moments with us because I don't live every single moment, every single day as Alyssa. We did go out today to the Shakespeare Festival and saw a play like this, and that was here in our own community. And that's new. I don't go out in this community because of my children, my family, and we still have to live here, and I don't want them having to answer questions for me. But we did it today, and it was absolutely wonderful. I wish I could read that. I wish my eyes were better. At what age would you be comfortable a child to you? As a woman, I don't understand why anyone would want to be one. The monthly period.
Why didn't
Okay.
you just leave all that?
Yeah, I mean the period part may not be that fun. That's not anything I have experience with. But let me clarify what you just said. I don't know why anyone would want to be a woman.
I think it was mostly a joke. Like,
I know that. I
everything
know.
is
There's the periods,
just
the
hard.
all that stuff. That's true. But here's what you have to understand. My self-actualization isn't about having babies. It isn't about having periods. It isn't about having cramps. It's about being pretty. It's about looking like this and feeling like this and getting to express myself like this. I don't want to be anybody else. And if you don't want to call me a woman, that's okay. I have so much respect for women. I don't claim to understand them. I don't claim to be better or or even understand the value of that, but I understand the value of this, and I understand how valuable I feel when I'm like this. So, what is a woman? What is that definition? It's not relevant. It doesn't matter. What matters is what I wear when I wake up to go live my best life, and what makes me feel valuable. And everybody should have the right to dress themselves in a way that they want to describe themselves and feel valuable. That's all. When did you transform? So we've been married for 26 years. We have lived a transgender life privately, just the two of us, for 26 years. When we could, right? We didn't tell our children that. So we would go away or we would create opportunities to have these experiences that I needed. But it's only been about 6 months that we were public. Oh wait, we have somebody coming in. Let's do this.
I just added a mod, so
You
Oh,
did? You
love
added a
that.
mod? Is this Karen that I accepted? Is it our Karen? I can't even see, hon.
I can't see.
I'm getting
either.
older as we just sit here.
I have a lag.
Hi, Karen.
Hi.
Karen, how are you? So, so no, Karen, I'm so glad that you came on. So look, we just hit 35,000 followers. Karen donated the most amazing palette.
Yeah.
So we're gonna draw that winner tonight. So if you're comfortable, Karen, tell him about the palette because I'm so excited to give it away, and I'm be so sad if I don't win.
Let me go get it. Give me 1 second. Let me go get it. Hold on.
Aw.
Okay, yeah, go get it because there's a beautiful palette. So guys, if you haven't already, go into our homepage and click on the video with the giveaway. Fill out your name and stuff and enter in to win this. This palette is so beautiful. So she's gonna get that right now. Hi Heather, that's Heather K. And makeup. It is a makeup palette, yes, and she's gonna get
Yes.
that. Oh, does that say Tank? Thank you, Tank, if that's what that says. AK Michelle is here. They do know now.
People ask if our kids know, and our kids do know, and
Talk about it. Good.
we haven't hid it from them. Only we did until they were adults, but our kids do know.
Okay. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's kind of small.
Oh, it's so cute.
It's called The Berry by Juvia's. And it's in its little bubble wrap to protect it. Oh, it's upside down. Sorry.
Cute.
Okay, so
So pretty.
these are the colors.
Alyssa
We're
wants
gonna
that.
have something for everyone.
Yeah.
It's kind of dark in here, so I
Pretty.
apologize. There we go.
So the
But this is
giveaway.
kind of with that
Okay.
moving away. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No,
Andrea.
it's okay.
Sorry.
People are just asking about the giveaway. So if you go back onto our TikTok page, there is a TikTok that you can enter. So tonight we're gonna draw. So if you want to go like it and give us a shout out, we can put you in the drawing for later tonight.
It's gonna be great. Hey Karen, while you're on here, hey, thank you for donating that, and also thank you for the sunglasses and the swimsuit wrap. Were you on the other night when I was thanking you for this, and I showed a picture of me wearing your sunglasses and your wrap? Did you see that?
I don't think I was on. I don't, I can't remember because I was on yesterday with your cousin. I think it was your cousin and her husband, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. So my
Okay. So I was there for that, and then I did see a picture of the sunglasses and I still have a few items that I'm gonna donate to Alyssa for herself.
oh
This one is going to one lucky viewer. So now that Alyssa has hit 35K, she's gonna pick a winner, and then we're gonna send this out to one lucky viewer. But can you guys see it?
yes,
there it
yes.
is.
So
I
cute.
can. That is a beautiful palette.
And so, yeah, we're gonna ship this out for free, absolutely free. All you have to do, Alyssa, do they still have time to comment?
Yes they do. Yeah. So if they go in right now and
Okay,
comment,
you guys- Awesome. So go comment on the post and
Okay, we can see how far
get your chance to enter.
awesome.
But hopefully we'll be able to do this more often, and just do little giveaways for you guys, for the audience, as a little thank you for being here, because we know that you don't you guys make a choice to be here with Alyssa and support her and her family. So we definitely appreciate each and every one of you guys.
Yes, thank you.
And this is just a little way to say thank you. But definitely we will have, well, at least I will be donating more and bigger palettes for,
Wow.
for the audience.
You are so special. Thank you for
Thank
doing that.
you.
That's so special. There's somebody else that's coming. I'm going to add somebody else, and then I do want to talk more about the slide behind us, and I also want to talk about a question that was asked about my experience growing up and how that felt in the wrong body or how I knew. So I want to talk about both of those things.
Before you start.
Yes.
Okay, I just really quickly before the other member unmute themselves, I just wanted to quickly let everyone know that Alyssa and Andrea and all the family, they really appreciate everyone's support, and they can't thank you guys enough. I know this because I get an opportunity to speak with them. You guys really do mean the world to them. And just know that each and every each and every one of you guys, I'm trying not to get choked up. Each and every one of you guys has a special place in their heart. So just know that you're seen, you're valid, you're cared about, and we love each and every one of you. They love each and every one of you. I say we because I'm
Yes.
Yeah, Karen, you've been with
Thank
us. You've been with us since day one, and thank you so much for saying that. And you're so true. We do value everybody who joins us, even if they don't agree with us. This is not about. It's not a popularity contest. It's a contest to see who can understand the most the soonest. So, Karen, thank you for donating, and thank you for saying those beautiful things.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm gonna let
Okay.
if you want, I can stay on. I can mute myself, or I can leave the chat to the little video window to leave space for other people.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah, let's do that so that we can see their face, and then you can call in later if you want to, anytime. You know you're welcome.
Okay, all right.
Karen, thank
Thank
you.
Karen.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
And before
Seth.
we start our next viewer, make sure you go on to the TikTok. It's the video that they were talking about for the palette giveaway is pinned, so you'll be able to see it on the TikTok when you go on.
Thank you, babe.
Thank you.
All right, Seth, are you with us?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Seth, thank you. Thank you for joining us. How are you?
I'm good. I'm not knowledgeable about this. And what would be identified as like a cisgender male, I guess. But I wanted your opinion because I've been reading in the news a lot lately that there is a growing community within the original LGBT community that is kind of growing away from the new, and I don't know all the letters now, but the overall LGBTQ plus community. There's like the original LGBT community that's kind of growing away from the rest of the community because they're saying that the way the movement's gone, it's kind of changed and it's not originally what it was meant to be. And I just want your thoughts on that, what your opinion was.
Seth, that's a really good question, and it's a really hard question because the reality is that the T and the I in that LGBTQIA is a little bit out of place. Thank you for those targets.
Oh, there's your cute picture. I'll put that
Oh, that's
up.
sweet.
Question.
It's a little bit out of place because all of those things are regarding sexual orientation, and intersex and transgender is more about your gender identity. So sexual orientation is who you go to bed with. Gender identity is who you go to bed as. So they're a little bit different. However, this is a group that brought us in with open arms and said, "Hey, you're safe here. You can identify here. We'll protect you here." And so it's been a good place for a very, very unique group. So we really appreciate them. However, you're right. It does seem to be some division. In fact, I get so much hate from the transgender community because of how I'm going about this. Because I decided, hey, I'm going to go see what Alyssa's like. I need to go see what that life is like, and I'm documenting this. But I didn't just transition 100% right out of the gates. And so I get a lot of mail saying, "Oh, you're just Mrs. Doubtfire. You're just Caitlyn Jenner. You're just whatever." And I'm just the beginning stages of figuring this thing out. So there are so many acronyms. There are so many different ways to identify people that it's a very, very confusing and valid question. And if we can't even get along ourselves inside the community, how in the world will we think that there's going to be cohesion and acceptance outside of that community? So what we need to just answer is, do people have the right to define themselves and create themselves, or do we not? Do we have the right to love who we want to love, or do we not? If you have the right to be who you want to be, then there should be a non-issue. We shouldn't even need to be in any kind of a group to be accepted. But,
Right.
yeah, I agree. It is confusing, so much so that I'm going, hey, look, if I'm going to offend the whole group by calling myself trans, I'm okay to call it, not saying I'm trans. I'm okay saying, hey, I'm gender expansive. I want to be pretty. I feel pretty. I love these routines. If you want me to say I'm gender expansive, I'm comfortable with that. My label is not as important as my health. If you don't respond to me the right way, that's up to you. But I have a choice as to whether or not to respond to you at all. So if you want to communicate, then it's just about respectful communication and using the name that is respectful to me, and I will absolutely reciprocate that same respect. But it's a very valid question, and I don't even know how to answer it. I really don't, because I take so much heat within the community myself. So the bottom line is, I guess it's different because I don't represent just the transgender community. I want to represent every single person, and I don't want any special rights for the transgender community because we're just people, just like people. And I don't need special rights. I don't need special privileges. I don't need special protections. I want my wife and my daughters and my son to have the same opportunities, the same privileges, the same protection. I don't want anyone unsafe in the bathrooms. So my stance is we need to eliminate the advantages, which is why my position on the sports is, hey, look, if there's an advantage, we probably shouldn't do that. However, if you're competing against people that experience the same puberty, there's probably not an advantage there, and you should be able to participate. So, if I'm going to help normalize this, then it can't come with advantages. This much I know. So I'm sorry that it's so confusing.
I appreciate your information. I think you're the first person I've talked to who's put it, the whole topic in that way. and it's a very interesting viewpoint. I've never heard another trans person say that in that fashion. And basically, I think you're right. You know, everybody really what needs to happen is everybody just needs to mind their business and live their life how they want to live it and stop worrying about how everybody else wants to live their life and move along. And I think that's a part of what's the problem is with like social media is everybody's been able to get in everybody else's business. And, you know, everybody cares too much about what, Jake or Jessica or John or whoever down the street is doing with their lives. Really, they should be focusing more on what's going on with their life. And,
Yes, agreed, agreed. But Seth, to your point, I do understand the frustration and confusion just from the traditional general public because there is so much confusion about this. And the reality is, I'm just fighting a different battle than a lot of the transgender people are. You know, they're fighting for access and freedom, and you know they want this for that group, and I just not willing to fight for anything that's not good for everybody. You know, that's the bottom line, and I don't need special protections to live my best life. I just need a little different thinking and a little different acceptance. You know, from the public, they just need to be aware that I'm not a threat, that I'm not a danger, that this is not something you teach in school. It's not something that you teach at all, at all. Children,
right.
you know, there's probably never a time in your life, Seth, where someone could have said, "Hey, I need you to be a girl moving forward." That probably would have never happened, and it's not going to happen in probably any child's life. Could a child choose that, or a person choose that because of trauma or some other things? You know, probably that's a real possibility. I don't know, but I surely cannot discount how they got there. But I need to respect the fact that they're there now and do everything I can to support them and everybody in a way that's healthy for everybody, if that makes sense.
That does make sense. And I also wanted to say that you brought up the sports topic, and I want to say it's I feel like you have a very Caitlyn Jenner kind of viewpoint on a lot of this stuff. And, Caitlyn's, she's really interesting. She's kind of like a rogue in the trans community because she views things a lot differently than what the typical trans community views a lot of stuff on. But I think you touched on something that I brought up to somebody else, which is that the trans movement is mainstream is rather new, right? So, 20 years ago, there wasn't a lot of discussion about, hormone blockers and stuff like that, and especially not with children, right? And I think with regard to sports, you touched upon it with the whole puberty thing. If you can prevent that hormonal change from happening, right, then you're right. There is essentially no advantage with sports. But currently, most of the trans women, because this doesn't seem to be an issue with trans men.
No.
It seems to be an issue with trans women, right?
Right.
And I think the more you see people who weren't able to have that, that puberty transition occur, you're going to see that advantage disappear and almost be non-existent. But unfortunately, that takes time because these hormone blockers and everything weren't widespread and widely available until maybe 10 years ago or so. So
right.
And take a lot of time.
Seth, and sports is such a sensitive issue. It's such a hot topic because there are so many trans girls that want to participate. And it's not that I don't want them to participate at all. It's not that I'm against them at all. It's that one issue, they're lumping laws in together with sports and bathrooms. And they're two different issues with two different solutions. And what's going to happen is, athletics is about physical ability. Gender identity is about gender identity. So I want that person to play sports, but not if it keeps everybody else from using the bathroom in a safe place. So when I weigh those two things out, I have to go with, look, everybody has these basic human needs that need to be met. And whether or not you play soccer or whatever it is, that's not a basic human need that should be heavier than the ability for everybody else to accommodate their basic human needs. That's why. They're just two different issues. What I want is for everybody to be able to participate and compete where they want to be, But once it's normalized, we will get to the right answer. We'll get to a fair and equitable solution, but we just can't wait for that solution before we start letting people use the restroom in a safe place. That's my take on that. I know it's sensitive, and I don't want to exclude anybody. I want to include everybody, but we gotta weigh out the issues as far as what's important. And bathrooms are important. Safety is important. Athletics not that important if it costs everybody else this, if that makes sense. So I know it's a tough subject, but thank you for bringing it up, and thank you for joining us.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. And Alyssa, I want to make it clear. I really appreciate you having the conversation. And most people on here, they're just yelling at each other all day, just debating, yelling at each other. You never accomplish anything that way. And having a real conversation. Look, I don't know a whole lot about being a trans, individual. I don't understand about the transition. I don't understand any of it because it's not my life. And I don't particularly have a problem with it. It's not, who I am, and that's okay. But I also don't want to be disrespectful of other people. But I appreciate people like you allowing people to come on here, communicate with you, and provide information in a very kind of safe environment where, if I was to possibly go and ask questions to someone else, it might turn into a full argument with someone.
Yeah.
I'm not going to accomplish anything.
Well,
I won't take it.
you're very welcome. It's my pleasure, Seth. Seth, one last question before we move on. One last question, and I get that you don't understand it, and it may not even be an acceptable thing for you yet. But let me ask you this: you see me somewhere at the mall, and I go into the restroom, and then you see somebody else waiting for me to come out of the restroom, and they grab me and do whatever. Tell me this: would you feel at that point like stepping in and stopping that, or would you just let that happen because I put myself in that situation?
I'm trying to picture this. What's happened? You're coming into the men. So I would go into the men's bathroom. You're going into the men's bathroom.
No, I'm going to the women's bathroom. I come out of the women's, and it doesn't have to be about a bathroom. I'm just simply saying, if you don't, even though you don't understand it, if you see the comments that people are making, right, and it's really easy behind a keyboard to do that. But if they had the opportunity to do that personally, there's a lot of people that would. My question is, even though you don't understand it, if you saw somebody trying to get physical and hurt me, would you feel inclined to step in, or would you just say, hey, look, I don't understand that whole issue, and step backwards?
No, I actually I believe in people's protection of people's rights. People shouldn't be getting physical with each other. So I would step in. I also you're very pretty, so I wouldn't even be able to differentiate. Whatever. I wouldn't be able to make that kind of prejudicial link in my head. I would just assume you're a cisgendered woman.
That's very sweet of you to say. That's such a good compliment. Yeah, I used the restroom today up at the Shakespeare Festival, and with a whole bathroom full of women, and there was no issue at all. And I didn't trick anybody. I think probably everybody realized it, but it was just bathroom business in the bathroom, and everybody went on their way. So, there just isn't danger there. So thank you, Seth, for joining us. You're a good man, Charlie Brown. I hope you stay with us. I hope you join our Discord and follow us and just help spread, be the grease instead of the gravel of the universe.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Thank you.
There's such nice comments.
Oh,
People are
that's
saying
good.
they got your back. They would protect you.
That
So sweet.
guys, that is so important that people know that, because there's so many trans people that are watching this program and they're seeing this hate come in, and they're like, it is not safe out there. Think about last night. So I got on last night for about 10 or 15 minutes with my cousin, who we reconnected with a few months ago at my father's funeral, to find out her husband, who I'd never met, has a transgender child. And they came on last night to just kind of share that experience and the hate that was coming in. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, reading these comments, they must be scared to death for this child. They must not want this child to leave their house based on the comments that are coming in. And as a parent, how disheartening is that, to think that there's not somebody out there that would protect your people if they needed to. So I think this is what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to create a wristband, trans Alyssa wristband or something, It's an ally band. It's an ally band that people who are allies could wear if they wanted to. That's really stylish. That will just let other people know who are looking for it. Hey, there's somebody safe. Hey, look, would you mind? I notice your bracelet. Would you mind just standing outside of the restroom while I go in there? It's something doesn't feel right now. Whatever. So I think I'm going to create some bracelets that are for allies, just to identify themselves as allies. I just think it would be so cool to see people walking around publicly displaying, I got you. I don't understand it. It's not kind of where I'm at, but I got you and I won't let you be abused. And I think that would be so good for the confidence of this community. Oh, Susie would wear one. Thank you. Yes, so I'm gonna figure that out. That's great. Um, let's see. So let's go back. Does anybody have any help or information helping me understand exactly what it is that's holding people back from just normalizing transgender, like the danger to the society? I would love if somebody could just come on live and not bring up God or their religion whatsoever, because that's not relevant, and just say, this is the danger of normalizing what you're doing. This is why what you're doing is so dangerous for the society. That's what I would love to have a conversation about. Because if we can address those issues, we're going to disseminate the fear.
Amy said she would have them in her Just You shop.
She would? That's so good, Amy. I would love that, Amy. So some of my super good friends are coming to Vegas, and we're going to meet them there. And it's a newer experience, and I'm going to reach out to you, so maybe you can help us with some makeup tutorials and just a jump start on this new life for this beautiful family. So I'm going to reach out to you. Thank you for being here.
So
Not sure
cute,
I
Amy.
tagged you.
Oh, man.
That would be great. Okay, so somebody asked the question that you showed me. Hey, can you explain some of your growing up experience and how that felt to be in the wrong body? That's a really good question, because that's something that a lot of trans people say. Look, I was born in the wrong body. I was born in the wrong body. The truth is, I never felt like I was born in the wrong body. I felt like I had understandings and awareness and needs inside the body that I have that needed to be fulfilled. So I never felt like, I hate Kevin. I hate this body. I hate a penis. I felt like, wow, I'm loving this experience, but this other experience just feels so much more rewarding and valuable and important to me. I bet before I started dressing, I didn't have one selfie of me, a picture of me on my phone. Is that true? Probably not one. Now I can't even find a picture because there's so many. Because I'm like, oh, I need to wear this outfit again. Oh, look at that. Oh, I love the way I did that. Ooh, look at that pose. Like that. And I just love who I am when I feel like this. I mean, I look that good, but I feel amazing. And if we can all live our lives to feel amazing, think how good we treat everybody else. So it's not like I was angry with myself. I was disappointed that I didn't have the experience to experience the things that I knew that I was capable of experiencing. So my experience is probably a little different than a lot of people's experience, because I was just trying to do the best I could with what I had. And I was an athlete, and I was trying to do the best with what I could do, but I could never ever stop thinking about having more and doing more as Allyssa. And I finally get that opportunity to have those experiences.
How cute. Your show jumper
Amy.
said, no danger here. If you came into my restroom, I'd give you a hug.
Oh, I love that. I would take a hug in a
There's
restroom, in a driveway. Let's talk about this one, dude. Yes. So, guys, listen. You know that we had to take a few weeks off here and there, and that's because I've got to, at the same time I'm creating this platform and this training and these different things, I still have to feed my family. I still have to take care of our bills, and I'm having to leave and go get some money while I do this. And it's becoming extremely difficult. It's so consuming. It's becoming frustrating for everybody. And so I've created a Patreon account to provide more personal access, and we can have different discussions. And depending on the level of Patreon that you choose to participate in, there's going to be an Ask Me Anything section or sessions at least once a month, where literally we get to just talk about absolutely everything. And if you're in a relationship, intimacy is important with transgender stuff. It's important anyway. but especially if there's hormones involved and gender change and all of these things and body changing through hormones. There's so many personal things that we just can't discuss on this public platform, this live stream platform that we're going to be able to talk about in our Discord. So if you can join our Discord right now, it's free. You can participate in conversations. But if you choose to go through our Patreon, that's really the best way that you can support us, so that I don't have to keep leaving and I can just concentrate on the content, the training, the awareness, and try to bring families together and the community, back together. So if anybody's comfortable with that, or wants that information or wants to help out, that is one way that you can do that, and you can access that right through our homepage there on our TikTok. So, please also follow us and sign up for Discord. It's free. You can join in, you can watch the comments, you can ask questions, and there's a lot of very capable, amazing people there that will help you understand these things as well. So, definitely, do that if you can. But the reality is, if I can't figure out how to make some money doing this, then I'm probably going to step away from this for a while and go money up until I can come back and concentrate on this full time. And that's not what I want to do, but it's what I have to do. I can only be spread so thin so long.
Yes.
Don't tell someone it didn't happen. Believe all women. Oh, that was
I think it's just a comment.
comment to
another
somebody else.
Yeah.
Okay, so if anybody else wants to just dial in right now, I don't know if there's any hate. I don't know if there's people that are confused. I don't know if there's questions that you have, but if you wanna dial in, and just have me clarify or explain to me where I'm missing the boat, explain to me why transgender shouldn't be normalized. I would love to have that conversation with you in a very respectful way. Can you repeat that in human, please? Well,
We do have Twitch, right?
we do have a Twitch account. Yes, Twitch is mostly for gaming. Yes, but Twitch is one of the platforms that we have. We pick up very, very few gamers, as it turns out, but we are on Twitch already, and maybe we could look into that more, or be more active on that. I don't even know.
Yeah, that wasn't meant for you, that comment. We know, thank you. Sometimes we read your comments, 2 comments, and we don't realize they're for someone else.
Hey, let me ask you this question, and please give me some feedback. I'm trying to learn and grow just as much as you are, and if I can better understand what's going on the other side, then I have a better chance of responding to it. But I get a lot of negative comments about Caitlyn Jenner. You're just Caitlyn Jenner, la 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 la. Let me ask you: Is Caitlyn Jenner like a bad thing for this community? Like, if you go back and read some of the comments, my latest comments from some of my videos, it was from another trans person said, "But you're just Caitlyn Jenner," and I wanted to say, I don't know what that means, but is that good or bad? Like, do you think Caitlyn Jenner did good things for this community, or not? Because a lot of dialogue got to take place because of Caitlyn Jenner. I looked at this person's name. I don't know that any dialogue has ever taken place because of this one person. And I'm just going, overall, it feels like Caitlyn Jenner's doing a lot more for awareness and spreading information than most of these people who are calling me Caitlyn Jenner or Mrs. Doubtfire or anything else. So overall, what are your views on Caitlyn Jenner? Is she good for the community or not good for the community? I'm trying to figure out what the public opinion is.
Jenner is a Republican supporter, so she is supporting the oppression of the trans community.
So
that
is
was
that
somebody's opinion?
Well, it's kind of a general opinion that's saying, hey, she's a Republican, and so all Republicans are against the trans, which I know it feels that way, and it kind of does feel that way a lot. And so much of it is because so many Republicans are Christian, and their church, their pastors, their religious beliefs, and so they're coming at it, I think, from much more of a church or a spiritual perspective than a human perspective. So there's no doubt that the left has a much more grasp on social situations, where the right seems to be much more about business and taxes and that kind of stuff. So I don't know Caitlyn Jenner. I've met her one time at a book signing. We haven't communicated since. I don't know her views. I didn't even know her view on sports until somebody told me. So I I didn't know that anybody else was using puberty as one of the indicators of when it would be appropriate to compete with other girls in sports. And I just learned that that is kind of her take as well. So I really don't know much about Caitlyn Jenner, but I know there wasn't a lot of dialogue about transgender before Caitlyn Jenner. I know that. They don't like her because of her political party, which is ridiculous. Yeah, politics. I don't want to get into politics, but there's definitely one side that's more social issue geared than the other. That's the reality of it. But because she's conservative in her views, apparently, it doesn't make her less trans. It doesn't make her less of a person. It doesn't make her less influential when we're talking about these kind of things. But I can't vouch for her, but I surely won't say anything bad about her because I don't know anything bad about her.
Caitlyn Jenner being open with her platform is wonderful, but oh yeah, you already said that. Sorry.
No, I didn't.
Oh, but her political obfuscation is the issue.
Obfuscation, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So overall, let me ask you in a one word answer. So overall, for this community with information about transgender, regardless of political views, would you say that she's good for this issue, or would you say that she's bad for this issue?
You're spot on with what you're saying.
I think my phone froze. We must be lagging.
We are lagging a lot, and I'm
It's
sorry.
a big part of the other people's life. Yeah, so I guess I'm not getting a lot of answers. Bad. Okay, so D, why bad? Why bad? And this is sincere. And D, if you want to come live and talk about it, I don't, I just want to know what about Caitlyn Jenner is bad for this community. I really don't know. So if you'll help me understand, I would really appreciate it. Hey, Heather's here. Hi, Heather. Thank you for joining. Caitlyn claims she is not gay yet. They're asking her to be a woman that loves women. But what does being gay have to do with anything? That's not even relevant. Being gay is about sexual orientation. That's who you go to bed with. Transgender is who you go to bed as. So I'm not sure that's even relevant as to, her situation in the trans community.
Sarah said, I can't comment from a transgender point of view, but from my point of view, she's educated me.
She has educated her. So look, if anyone brings awareness and understanding, I mean that's good, regardless of what their political views are. Hey, does that say what does it say? Angie. Ange, hi Ange, thank you for being here. Correct. If she is a woman that loves woman, a lesbian, yeah, so be it. So be it. Some people have the ability to love more, love brighter, love broader, love deeper. Some people just have that ability. Thank you, Ashley.
Holy cow! There's some bashing going on against our people. Thanks for sticking up for us.
I'm a first responder. What does that say, sweetie?
Right.
What do you do for other people besides?
She's just commenting to.
That's somebody else.
Yeah,
Oh.
she's just got the back.
And we're talking about everything. We're talking about what happened to the other slide? Oh, did you take that other one off?
No, I just moved it because people were asking about the slide, and we had already talked about it, and I didn't want to interrupt you.
Oh no, let's go back if it's. Hey, let me do this slide really quick, okay? For this is the bathroom. So for those people who say this is crazy, what is a woman? La la la, genetics. This, guys. Let's talk about bathrooms for 1 second, okay? So bathrooms are segregated by social gender. Period. So at the end of Matt Walsh's movie, What is a Woman? His answer was, well, it's an adult female. Okay, great, because bathrooms are segregated by social gender, male and female. So if my social gender is female, then that would seem to be the right place for me. It can't be about genetics because, typically XY means male, typically XX means female. However, there's a lot of people with just one X. Where should they go? Which bathroom? How about the ones that are XX but they're male? How about the ones that are XY but they're really female? How about this one? How about the XYY syndrome? Or the XXX, that's trisomy syndrome. There's XXY. A lot of people don't know that George Washington and the Danish girl both have that genetic combination. So we have all of these other genetic combinations, and it's not relevant to the bathroom. It's about social gender. That's what bathrooms are about. But a lot of people don't understand that all of these other genetic combinations, they exist, and they exist readily in our people, right now.
Hi, Sophia. There's some questions, but I don't know.
Okay, let's talk about this one. So this I talked about a few lives ago. This is something that I saw on Facebook. It said teach them to change gears, not genders. And there was about 560 comments, all of them, supporting it. And yes, I agree. You should never teach your kids. And I saw that, and I read a lot of those comments, and I'm like, what? Like, when do people think that's even teachable? At what age were you able to be swayed to the other gender? Right? Probably never. What age could you sway your children to it? Probably never. Right? So do people really think that you can just teach somebody to be a different gender? Like, is that really a thought process? That just seems like the most interesting thought process, if that's the case. And if you believe that, that's okay. Just help me understand when. Like, what age group is that can be taught to be a different gender? I don't know. So I'm asking you. If you believe this, then there must be reason to believe it. Help me understand why this is rational thinking. Oh my gosh, Andrea left and I'm blind. I'm up here working this thing by myself with no eyes. Sorry. So if anybody wants to go live, please do. You could easily teach a child it's another gender. They'll believe anything. No, we're talking about themselves. You don't teach a child what somebody else is. That other person gets to teach that child who they are. I'm talking about teaching a child to change their own gender. Tell me what age that's possible. How did you get George Washington's genetic history? It's just in some medical stuff that I was reading. What do I think about trans women in sports? Number one, I'm for participation. Number two, I'm against an advantage. So I think that if you're going to be in competitive athletics, then you should compete with the other people that experience the same puberty as you did. So the younger kids who get on the right blockers and hormones, they're going to get to compete with their peers. But if you've already experienced a gender that your competitors have not experienced, then it could come with an advantage. And if it comes with an advantage, then nobody's going to accept that, which means they're not going to normalize this. So I want that to be a separate issue than the ability to just dress myself. I'm as uncomfortable using the woman's bathroom as you are with me using it. Joanne, hello. Yeah, so Joanne raises a good point. She's saying, hey, look, I know you may not be comfortable with me in there, but I'm uncomfortable being in there too because I don't want you to be uncomfortable. And I get that. I felt that today. When we walked in, everybody was respectful. But I just thought, man, I hope that I'm not making any of these people feel worried or scared or uncomfortable. So I do understand that. That's such a good comment.
Sorry, I had to go get some food. Do you want some cheese?
So do you like women or men? I like a woman. Yeah. I like this woman right here.
Thank you. I'm just going to
I'm
have a
into
snack.
this woman.
No blood sugar.
People are polite with me in a women's restroom. People are very polite. Very polite. I've been so lucky. It's people on the other side of the restroom, the men that have to prove something. That is why she is hated by society.
Thank you, Michelle.
Hey, 5397. Hey, how's it going? Thank you for being here. Michelle, hi. Dre, you are so cute. Stop. I know, right?
Thank you.
Look at her.
Thank you, Elliot's mom, 31. We're doing so good. It's nice to talk with my
I'm an
mom.
elementary art teacher.
Oh.
So you love the quote in the back, you say. What do you like about that quote? So the quote says, teach them to change gears, not genders. Well, what do you love about that quote? Because that quote to me implies that there's some age or there's some way that you could teach a child to be transgender. And explain to me what that looks like. You've got these desperate parents, like my cousin last night, whose child comes up and says, this is who I am, this is who I need to be. You're not going to train them back out of it. You're not going to teach them back out of it. it's not a possibility. Otherwise, the suicide rate wouldn't be so high. So I'm just wondering what age you think that that's even a possibility. Gender doesn't change what's between anyone's legs. There you go. So is what's between someone's leg, does that, should that influence who they are or who they become or any of that? Gigi Bass is here. Gigi, thank you. Yes, please, Christy. You're curious. I have a question. I want to know that question.
You want to answer it? It's right here.
Is the boys' bathroom the same as the girls' bathroom? No, it's not. No, it's not at all, because these bathrooms are separated by social gender. So the women's restroom is set up for the routines of women, and the men's restroom is set up for the routines of men, which is a lot of times just some urinals, a stall, and a sink with no mirror. And you walk into the same place in the women's restroom, and there's 3 sinks and nice mirrors and place to set stuff, and so no, they're not set up the same, and they're surely not the same cleanliness either. And if you're going to sit down, trust me, the women's restroom is probably a better place to be for sure.
So when Allyssa, she goes in the women's restroom, and when they are Kevin, they go in the men's. Just how she's presenting.
Correct.
Or they are presenting.
That's correct. So however I'm presenting is socially, that's the bathroom that I go into. And all these comments that you were seeing earlier, all these hateful comments, that's the reason it's not safe for me and most trans women to go into the men's restroom. Because if they're willing to just, say these horrible things and make these threats, imagine if they got a chance to really prove how righteous and special and protective they are. It would take no time at all before it was a terrible situation for me.
There's Christy's
Our
comment.
trans kids use the men's room and we don't worry. 1 second. There you go. That's right. Okay, here's the comment.
Did you just wake up one day and say, I want to look like a woman?
Chrissy, that's a really good question, and I appreciate you asking it. No. Well, yes, I did wake up one day, but that day was so long ago I don't remember it, because I don't have any thinking where I didn't say, "Oh my gosh, that would be good for me." And I've told this experience, several times before, and I don't even remember how old I was. Very, very young, but I was at a swimming pool and I was watching some girls jumping off the diving board, and I watched them for a while, and I said, "You know what? I think I'm in the wrong swimming suit. I think that I may be in the wrong swimming suit. I don't know that this is the right fit." And I've had that question for the last at least 45 years of my 50-year existence. So at 50 years old, I decided I need to find out if I was in the wrong swimming suit or not, and that's what this experience is right here. So no, I didn't just wake up one day, recently and say, "Oh, I want to give this a whirl because that sounds fun." I woke up one day and said, "My gosh, my life is half over, and I have almost nobody in it that knows what I value, that knows what I'm capable of, that knows what I understand, and that's why I'm doing this." So thank you for that question. Yes, exactly.
Women's bathrooms are actually dirtier because we wash our hands and stuff.
Would you talk about that? Could you take it for 1 second?
Sure. I'm not quite sure what it is.
I'll just answer some questions for you.
Oh, just me answer questions. Okay, sure. Thank you. Allyssa has been dressing as a woman off and on in the beginning of the marriage. We did it in private, but the last 6 months or so, she's been more public. She told her family about 5 years ago. Is that correct? 4 or 5 years ago. So the family knows, my family knows, her family knows. So it's been a while. Thanks for that movie suggestion. Good one. I'm cis, so I love hearing about your experience. Thank you. And do you all discuss this? everyone's comments are being so nice, and there's a lot of hate, but we've got some good moderators to help us filter through that. So in the beginning, it was hard to see the comments. Sometimes I do have to walk away to kind of take a deep breath because Alyssa's so good about moving past those, and I just want to call you out that I don't. So,
But you know what? The reason that I'm patient with it is because I would probably be the same way. If it wasn't my reality, I would probably be going, get out of here with this. That doesn't make any sense at all. And I would be stopping people and saying, tell me what you get out of this. I don't understand why you're doing this. And the answer is, I'm trying to get life out of this. I'm trying to be able to utilize, this is what I had to work with. And I'm just trying to do the best with what I have to work with.
thank you.
So I
Amen.
understand the lack of understanding and the confusion, especially with all of the pronouns and, all of the demands and the loudness and all of that. I get it. And that's why we want to open this dialogue. And we want to do it on a more full-time scale, which is why we created a Patreon to give us more time to create the content and create these dialogue. Recently, last week, we had an article about us come out in Newsweek, which was special. We had an article come out in Daily Mail, which is special. We've been asked to be on some game shows and some talk shows, and that's great. Today, we got invited to go on a big podcast. And so this is what we're trying to do, but it takes so much time and it takes so much energy. And that's why we created a Patreon account at different levels, which will give you even more access to different and more personal information. So if you're inclined or you just want to be the grease and not the gravel of the world, the best way to support us is through that. And that will help us support the families and the people that have to live this reality regardless of everybody else's understanding or even their ability to explain it.
How would
Thank you,
one
Sarah.
join your Discord?
So you just download Discord, it's free, and then just join the trans_Allyssa server. You can also access all this through our link tree in our bio on TikTok. That's a great way to do that. And we have merchandise there too. You can get cute stuff like cups and backpacks and shirts. I wear a shirt sometimes, Trans Alyssa. And really it's just us trying to figure out a way that we can have this dialogue more often. Holly, thank you for that. Thank you for that hand with the little heart. Thank you.
Jennifer said, thank you for joining my live
Thank you,
today.
Holly. Yes, Jennifer, thank you for joining mine right now. Girl, every time I get on your live, you're doing something fun.
I know.
Like really, like what?
Alyssa's like, come watch this. I'm like, aw.
Like we need a week in Jennifer's life and
I know.
just take our stress from here to here. That would be great, Jennifer. You have such a beautiful family. Thank you for sharing them with us. Can you do a whole day without mentioning something about it? Can you do a whole day without mentioning something about transgender? I mean, yes, I can. I can live my whole life without explaining it, without offering answers, and just be me. I know that because I'm 50 and I've figured it out for at least the last 26 years of our marriage. So I can go a lot of days without bringing it up. But there's so many people who are
But
suffering.
I would bring it up.
And transgender, people identifying as transgender is going up so quickly that we need some different level of understanding and support. That's why I'm doing this, not because I need it. I'm already out and about living my life right now. This is to help other people understand it so they can support people differently. And this brings up, I wish that this slide behind me was bigger, but I thought it was very, very interesting. So let me just read it out loud. Sarah, thank you for those roses. Let me read this out loud and then to tell you why I felt like it was significant. Wow, Sarah, thank you. So it's a person holding a sign, and here's what the sign says. I've got to turn my head. I'm going to try to be loud. Here's what the sign says. In the 1980s, A&W tried to compete with McDonald's Quarter Pounder by selling a 1/3 pound burger at a lower cost. The product failed. Why did the product fail? So they're selling a bigger burger for a lower cost, and it failed. Why? It failed because most customers thought that the quarter pound burger was bigger. They thought it was bigger. They thought it wasn't a value because they weren't good with fractions. And that is so relevant to this. So much of our opinion is based on misinformation or misunderstanding as to the values of things. That's why I think this is so significant that we really clarify that, hey, a third is more than a fourth. I know we're not always thinking in terms of fractions, but we need to at least start, with that information. So this is just about really, let's get the basics right first, and then let's build on, real information.
Hi, Karen. Hi, Shannon. Everyone.
Oh, Shannon's here.
Watch your
Yay, Shannon!
changes,
Thank you for
Safu.
coming
Thank
on last night.
you.
That was so fun to spend this weekend with you and just hear more about your beautiful experience and your family and your trans experience and everything. So thank you for coming on and sharing that with us.
Hi, Colleen.
Your hair is long, baby. Your hair is long, I know, and gorgeous.
Thank you.
Could there be cuter hair?
They might be talking about you though. Cute.
It was fun talking about your future dentist here. Yeah, there you go.
Hi, Karen.
That's great. Elliot's mom, thank you. Thank you, Nancy. This is one of my favorite wigs. I have another real human hair wig as well. It's red and it has bangs. And maybe I'll wear it next week. So next week, next Thursday, I'll do my makeup live. So we'll do more of a makeup tutorial, and maybe we can talk as Kevin for a few minutes, and then I'll transition into Alyssa, and you can watch that happen, and we'll do some makeup too. That'd be fun. Will you ever talk about Black trans women? Sure. What would you like to say about them? In fact, here I've got one right here. We can talk about them right now, because I do know that Black trans women, they experience more discrimination, more violence, more murders than anybody than any other group. So yes, I will absolutely. Let's see if it's on this slide right here.
While you're finding
Yes.
that, what percent of time do you present as Kevin versus Alyssa?
Well, right now, no more than 50% of my Alyssa right now.
Someone said I worked for McDonald's and that's not how it went. Well, sounded good for right now.
Oh no! Tell us how it went. I want the real information. I want accurate information. This was marketing that I came across. So, no, please, do say. I'm looking for all the right information.
Thank you, Art for the Soul.
Let's see. And if you would like to talk about Black trans women, then please come live with me right now and let me give you a platform to discuss some of the complexities of that scenario.
Ray, thanks for your comment. You don't have to be part of this if you don't want to be. Thanks.
Where was my talking points where I talked about the cheerleader and the first professional NFL cheerleader that's transgender, the black girl? She's so pretty. I don't remember where I've built so many slideshows, guys. I've built like 15 slideshows, and we never talk about any of them.
Thank you, Connor.
Should girls compete in sports?
Right.
Commonly asked questions.
So
Transgender
cute,
101.
Connor.
Matt Walls, change my
Will you
mind.
ever fully
I don't know.
transition?
You know what? Right now, I am fully transitioned. Right, I get to live exactly how I want to live. I get to look how I want to look. Will I always deal with really big shoulders and big hands and deep voice and a huge, broad chest and some of the features that are not very feminine? Yeah, that's what I was given to work with. But I don't hate me. I can't love myself and hate the experiences that formed me. So I just have to accept all of me and accept what comes from that. So right now, I have a body that allows me to live the life that I want to live.
Slide up.
I wanted to find that other thing with the. I'm going to leave it on this slide right here. I'm going to leave it on this slide because I think it's such a good question, and I haven't been able to hear from anybody as to what participation looks like. So, yes, if you want to, thanks, Holly. So if you want to respond to this quote right here from Dave Chappelle, who said, I support anyone's right to be who they want to be. My question is, to what extent do I have to participate in their self-image? And so my question to you is, what do you feel is that extent? What extent do you feel you're being asked to participate in other people's self-image? No disrespect to this question, but do you want to have any surgeries? No, Kay, that's a great question. and I don't need to have any surgeries at this time. But would like some threads. I'd like some Botox. So I would like a few things, cosmetically that way. But as far as breast implants, I have enough tissue up there that I'm very happy with already, just from being on hormones for 7 years. And my below is very, very important for us and our intimacy. So no, I don't anticipate having surgeries like that. I'm a giraffe. Well, that's very brave of you to type out that you're a giraffe. So to get to the basics, transgender is about gender. It's not about animals. It's not about fantasies. It's not about your sexual preference. It's about gender. So transgender, trans means to cross over. So someone who's transgender means, hey, I'm capable of crossing the gender and being very, very happy there. So it's not about giraffes or jungle, So yeah, I think you're on the wrong program. I think Jumanji is probably more of what you're after. But I hope you stick around because I think you'll learn some things, or at least hear some things that might help you to think differently.
I think thinks you're pretending.
Pretending
That's
to
why I
what?
said that.
Pretending to be happy? I don't need to pretend to be happy, right? I get to do this to be happy. It's interesting because what I thought my whole life, because it was before Caitlyn Jenner, it was before transgender was a public thing, I thought, man, when people find out about this, they're going to go, oh my gosh, this is amazing. If that's possible, then everything is possible. I can become whatever I need to become for my health, for my happiness. I can have what I need to have if I'm brave enough to go get it. And that hasn't been the response at all. So if I can do this and be happy, what can't you do? What are you not doing that would make you just as happy? So happy that you're comfortable treating everybody with respect. So happy that you're not challenged by who other people are. So if that's not you, if you don't have that, it's not because I get to dress like a girl. It's because you don't have the discipline or the courage or the mindset or the desire to go get that thing that makes you this happy and allows you to be whole.
Sorry, it's lagging, guys. We think it might be TikTok because we upgraded our internet service here to try to help, but it's
Oh,
still
thank you.
lagging.
Thank you, H. Kenny. That's so nice. I appreciate that. Do you do your own makeup? It's beautiful. Oh my gosh, thank you for saying that. Does that say George Ann? What did it say? Yes, I do. I do my own makeup. I've always done my own makeup. And
GG for 3.
we will do, I'll do my makeup live. How about that on Thursday? So on Thursday, I'll start out as Kevin, and you'll see that when I'm Kevin, there's not as many weird comments. I'm not a target when I'm Kevin, but as soon as I put makeup on and a wig, you'll see all of the hate come out because I'm not a threat apparently like this. And when I'm Kevin, apparently I'm a bigger threat.
Thank you,
At
Art for
Art.
the Soul.
You should tell them to please join the
She's-
Discord. Yeah.
She says that we're her favorite on the app.
Oh,
so
at Art for the Soul,
cute.
thank you for saying that. Thank you. Guys, please join our Discord. Even if you don't agree with us, maybe you can join the Discord and just read some of the comments and the conversations, and you'll get a little bit better understanding of some of the dynamics in this very, very difficult situation. The more you understand, the less scary it is. So join our Discord, please, and you can just go right to the link tree and get all the information right there. As long as you're happy, healthy, and being you, true self. Yes, Sarah, thank you. And everybody has that same right to just be happy and healthy and be their true self. That's so true. I don't want to understand. Well, Nathaniel,
Thank
then
you,
you won't.
Aaron.
But Nathaniel, let me just say this.
Thank you.
You don't
so
want to understand now, but you will want to understand when it's in your home, when it's your children, when it's your siblings, when it's somebody that's important to you. The only difference, Nathaniel, between your thinking and my thinking is proximity to this issue. But when this issue gets close enough to you and you don't have the luxury of saying, I don't want to understand, because people you care about are leaning on you, then you're going to come back here and you're welcome back here because this is a safe place to understand things that are very hard to understand, to at least figure out how to live in a healthy way that a lot of people don't understand. So when that time comes and you get a little closer to this situation, you'll be welcome back here.
Thank you, KK. Thanks for our mods.
Thank you, KK. That's so sweet. That is so sweet. Hey, a lot of hearts joined. Thank you for having a lot of
Yes,
hearts.
Thank you.
You never know when it might be real close to you. Michelle, that's so.
Thank you.
Oh my
Erin.
goodness, thank you for that dog and a cute bum. Guys, think of it like this. So, I was the first person in my family to come out, and since then, there are 5 other people in my family that are transgender. Right? Not siblings, but you know, my older sister has a niece that's transgender. My oldest daughter also has a nephew that's transgender. My cousin, who you met last night, has a daughter that's transgender. Um, who else? There's Andrea's cousin has, you know, a couple of people that are transgender in their family. So this is all come. That's 5 people in one family that nobody knew about before I was, you know, able to just come out and say, hey, this is what it is. This is what's going on. And all of a sudden, other people from my own family are coming out. So I'm happy about that, because you want to protect everybody, but when you can protect your own, how rewarding and special is that? So if you don't think a transgender experience is coming into you, then you haven't researched the numbers enough. I promise it is coming to you in some way.
Thank you, Tesla. That was nice. Everyone,
KK,
please
thank you.
be respectful.
I'm being muted for saying the truth. Well, just type the truth out. You're probably being muted because you're being rude. But listen, if you can be respectful and you have truth that I need to hear, then go live with me right now so we can put a face to your comments and make sure that you have the vocabulary to explain the bias or the thinking that you have. We're
People
one
don't
phone
get
call.
muted if they're respectful.
That's such a good comment from
Tesla,
Sarah.
Thank you.
She says, we're one phone call away from a totally different life. Life is too fragile to be anything but happy. That's such a good comment.
Amen.
That's such a good comment. Yes. So, guys, please, if somebody could help me understand, you know, Chappelle's, or the answer to Chappelle's question. So, to you, what does it feel like that your participation needs to be in order to accept my identity? What do you feel like your participation? What do you feel like I'm asking you to do to normalize transgender? What do you think I'm asking? What do you think that feels like? Help me understand that.
Thank you, Marine Girl.
1 out of 10 men are closet cross-dressers. Yeah, that may be the case. I don't know. I know that there's a lot out there. I know that on the 2000 census, there were so many people that identified as transgender that did not transition or live full time. It was all privately. The bottom line is we are a different people genetically, and the churches aren't getting it because they've never had to defend their ideology with this different genetic makeup. So they're going to have to figure that out, because membership in churches is just going down. Nobody's willing to be part of a group that doesn't support all of their people.
Wait,
Not asking anything of me to let you be you. Sharon, thank you. Thank you for saying that. Really, yeah, I'm just asking you to remember my name. That's all. And if you can remember my name, then we're going to have beautiful conversations. I promise you.
Britt said to say hi.
Britt, thank you for being here. I love that. Gigi Bass, you're the best. Okay, outright rude comments only get muted. Outright rude comments. And there's no reason for outright rude comments, because if you have a difference of opinion, I want to hear it. Like, I want you to ask it in a way that's respectful so that we can have some real communication and dialogue. I don't know everything, but I'm sure willing to talk it out. And if you have a perspective that I need to hear, well, I'm willing to hear that. I want my mind to be changed. Trust me, about a lot of things.
Thank you, KK.
I'm so open to new information and better information. I'm eager to have my mind changed. So if you have something that's going to help me change my mind about something, a better understanding, I want that information.
Do you plan on updating your birth certificate or your ID?
I did update my ID already. So on my gender marker on my driver's license, there's an X instead of a male. And that was a game changer that day, because now all of a sudden when I'm dressed, I can still use credit cards. When I get pulled over or AAA has to come and it has to be the member of the AAA member, I can say, no, this is me. Look at the X. This X just means that the gender may not be obvious. And so it really gave me so much freedom and so much access and so much security once I was able to change the gender marker on my driver's license. So thank you.
It was
That
a
w-
good day.
That
for
was
you.
a good day. Like
Yeah.
you should see. I mean, I'm at the driver's license office place, just like getting my picture on my driver's license is me smiling like
Hi,
this
Frieza.
big. And somebody asked me recently. I showed my ID, and they said, "I got to ask you, why would you ever smile this big in a driver's license photo?" And I said, "Let me tell you, because that's the day so much changed for me. Access for me changed that day, and I was able to explain that. It was great. I agree with Chappelle, and don't see how it's transphobic at all. I don't think it's transphobic at all either. And since you agree with Chappelle, let me ask you this: what do you feel like you're being asked to participate in? Like what do you feel like you are having or being asked to go out of your way to do in order for me to live like this? What do you feel like I'm asking you to do?
How about
And I'm asking that respectfully. Like I really want to have this conversation.
hold on.
What makes a man a man? Yeah, you tell me. Can I ask? I would love for you to answer that actually. What makes a man a man? And what makes a woman a woman?
What do you ask of people? Like Dave Chappelle is asking, like, what do you ask of people when you are out as Alyssa?
I just give them a name. If they ask my name, I introduce myself as, "Hi, I'm Alyssa," and that's it. Just if I was Kevin, I would say, "Hi, I'm Kevin," and we would communicate all night as Kevin. But when I'm Alyssa, I just ask that they call me Alyssa, and that's all. That there's nothing more that I need from anybody other than to just be respectful when communicating with me. That's all. Why is it I got work tomorrow? I feel bad to call in sick, but I'm genuinely sick.
Well, you should call in sick if you're
If you're
genuinely
sick,
sick,
Yeah,
honey.
yeah. If you're sick, then be sick.
For
Hey,
sure.
Dixie, thank you for being here. What time is it where we are? It's 8:42. Oh my gosh, the live's almost over. That
I'm
was
gonna
really
have
fast.
to go pick up our daughter from work in about 7 minutes.
Okay, well, we'll just shut her down then. We'll go get her from work. Well, a man must have an XY chromosome, and a woman must have all of the chromosomes as XX. See, and that would be incorrect. That would be an incorrect statement, factually incorrect statement altogether, and that's part of the confusion. The reality is there are women with an XY chromosome, and there are men with an XX chromosome. And by the way, we only learned this in 2006. So it's actually pretty new information. The whole chromosome thing is really pretty new, really. So chromosome is not a good way to judge what a man is or what a woman is. It would exclude a lot of women from using the restroom that they should use if it was based on genetics.
Somebody is awake at 3:45
Oh, thank you.
and they have to go to work at 6:30. I'm so sorry.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's a Red Bull day. But
let's see,
thank you for being here.
Sarah, good luck.
Sarah, you got to be awake. Thank you for being here with us. I love that.
Whew. Thank you, Gigi.
Let's see. It's so nice when somebody calls you by your female name, Joanna. It really is. It's very validating. It's very validating when someone obviously they know that I'm not a cisgender woman, but when they're respectful and say Alyssa this, Alyssa that, it's much sweeter than hearing Kevin, because it reeks of kindness and of gentleness and of respect and of friendship. When somebody uses Alyssa and it's clear to them that I'm not a cisgender girl, it absolutely is so kind and thoughtful, and it's an instant bond that I have with that person.
Ooh.
People want to know how often you go live and that they plan to join Discord if you guys want information. Okay, good. So we go live every Monday and Wednesday. So every Monday and Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And please join the Discord. You can get to that Discord information on our link tree. It's free to join that. So if you want to keep in closer contact and be more a part of this, then please join our Discord, and you're welcome to participate and ask questions and whatever else. If you want to sign up for a Patreon account, that would help us out a great deal so that we can do this more full time and not just try to keep the lights on, half the time. And you'll get access to so much more, so much blog posts and supporters section only on Discord, and the Ask Me Anything section, which we'll do which we'll do at least once a month, where we really get into the intimacy of what this is. And and it's just the stuff that we can't talk about here on these public platforms.
Okay, before I go,
Thank
there's
you,
a
Lulu.
question from Connor. What
Okay, Connor.
significant changes has your transition led to for Andrea? That's a good question because my pronouns are the same, but a lot of people misgender me because they think I'm with a woman. I am with a woman, but I'm not lesbian. So it's hard for people to understand that because I'm not attracted to women sexually. I'm attracted to men, but I am attracted to this being right here. So it's okay to be sexually attracted to her. Some changes were family dynamics, friend dynamics. I've gained a lot more friends, meaning I have a lot of true friends now since we have come out. I've seen, and yeah, family is different. Church is different. In the beginning, we hid it from our kids, and so our kids thought I had a lot of wigs. They thought I had a lot of shoes that were too big for me and wondered why. So that changed now that we have come out to our kids. I don't have to discuss that, but the list can go on, but I have to go pick up our kid from work. So thanks for everyone for being here.
Babe, let me just see who's trying to get in with us real quick. If somebody can help me. Oh, it's Karen.
Hope
Before
you
we
was
go
what?
out, I thought somebody was going to help me understand some of those quotes and answer some questions or share their. Hey, Karen, you got us just before we shut down.
Hi,
We gotta pick a
Karen.
winner.
Yes.
We gotta pick a winner.
Yeah, we are going to pick a winner. So the way that we do that, we take all the names. So we told everybody that during the live they could still go in and join and do all that stuff. So after the live, then we go in and it's a random. There's a wheel. We put everybody in a wheel and it goes around and we just stop it.
Instead, okay.
But we'll talk. Let you and I talk after later tonight.
Okay.
Love you, babe. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks,
Bye,
Karen.
Karen.
Thank you for the
Thank you.
donation. You're the best. You're the best. We'll talk in a little bit. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you, Britt. Thank you, guys. How do you enter, Britt? You just go right to our home screen there, and there's a video. We have a video. It's about a giveaway, about a pallet giveaway. So just go in there and type in your information. The instructions are pinned right at the very, very top. Guys, please join our Discord if you feel inclined to help out through Patreon. Then you'll get access to special supporter sections in the Discord and other sessions and meet and greets and all kinds of different things. So, but we're automatically going to do this live, this drawing right after this live. Guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for your comments. Ryan, thank you for noticing the wig. The wig is such an important piece of this for me. Hair is very, very important to me. So thank you for saying that. I got it from a place in Vegas that's no longer in business, unfortunately. Britt, the name of the Discord is trans_Allyssa. The same as all my social media platforms, whether it be Twitch or Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, all of those things. So, Karen, thank you. From the UK, Sarah, yay, thank you for joining us from the UK. Guys, Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here. I'll start out as Kevin, and we'll just do, that's going to be, we'll just do that. And I'll start out as Kevin. We'll transition. We'll do some makeup together. I'll show you the products I use. And that's Leo's Trans. Awesome. Congratulations. I hope you stay here with us, Leo, because you have so much to offer this community. Rosie, thank you. Guys, thank you for being here. The Discord is discord.transalyssa.com. There's actually no underscore in the Discord. So the Discord is it's discord.transalyssa. Remember, Alyssa is spelled with 2 L's and 2 S's .com. So there's no underscore in the Discord. And there's a bunch of different sections in Discord. There's the male to female, female to male, non-binary. You don't need to belong to any of those, you can enter all of those, regardless if you're not trans at all. You're welcome to just be there with us. This is about a safe community where people can go and learn and grow and ask and feel welcome and healthy without judgment and fear and ridicule and all these amazingly queer, weird comments that are designed to disrupt and anger. That's not what we do. So go join our Discord and just be kind with us. Thank you, Plant. I'm calling you Plant. There's not even a name there. There's only a plant. Thank you for saying that. Guys, thank you. Have a wonderful night, and I hope to see you on Wednesday. Y'all are the best. Go be the grease, not the gravel of the universe.